Okay, so today we have, as mentioned, healthy living for your brain and body, and we're going to discuss tips from the latest research.
So our program overview, we will be identify the reasons for taking care of yourself as you age, list strategies to age well in the following areas: physical health and exercise, diet and nutrition, cognitive activity, and social engagement.
So aging and your health. Aging well depends on the following things. It depends on your genes, right? Your environment and your lifestyle. Are you engaging in a low stress lifestyle? Are you engaging in a high stress lifestyle? Are you, working all the time? Are you balancing fun and work? What does your lifestyle look like? Are there high fat diet, drinking? What's going on in your lifestyle? And lifestyle choices may help keep your body and brain healthy.
So the brain and how it works. The brain is the control center of the body. There are 100 billion nerve cells or neurons creating a branching network. Signals traveling through the brain form memories, thoughts, and feelings. And Alzheimer's disease destroys these brain cells.
So next we want to discuss the heart and brain connection. So the heart and brain are interrelated. What you do to protect your heart can also help your brain continue to operate at its best. The brain needs blood flow, and the brain depends on oxygen and adequate blood flow to work well. 25% of blood from every heartbeat goes to the brain.
So next, dementia and Alzheimer's. So dementia is caused by many different diseases and conditions. It's not a normal part of aging. So Alzheimer's disease is the most common cause of dementia. Known risks for Alzheimer's include age, genetics, head injury, cardiovascular factors, and fewer years of formal education. Therapies for Alzheimer's can treat symptoms, but cannot cure, prevent, or slow the disease progression.
So taking care of yourself as you age, they're made up of 4 main pillars, which are very important. So when you make your weekly schedule, your daily schedule, we want you to think about factoring some of these things in. The cognitive activity you do. So are you engaging in an activity that's going to challenge you a little bit? Are you doing any sort of physical health and exercise? Are you making sure you're doing it at least 3 times a week, getting your heart rate up? Diet and nutrition. Are you making sure you have a low-fat diet, low in carbs, similar to a Mediterranean diet? And are you participating and socializing? Are you speaking on the phone to people? Are you doing Zoom? Are you going out and seeing people when you can and when it's safe?
So first, we're gonna dig into physical health and exercise.
So what do we know about physical health and exercise? Well, we know cardiovascular activity may reduce your risk of cognitive decline. Regular and vigorous exercise leads to increased blood flow. Other physical activities may also yield benefits. There is no single recipe.
So next, we're going to hear from Woodley. He's going to discuss developing exercise as part of a habit in his life.
It's surprising how you can easily build up habits of just taking 15 to 20 minutes out of your day to go down, hit the treadmill, and just do it. Just do it. Just get on it, put my headphones on, and just walk at a nice brisk pace for myself, build up a quick heartbeat, quick sweat, and it's amazing how quickly I can go from 15 minutes to 20 minutes, and then over time 30 minutes, and over time 40 minutes. Before you know it, you're up to 45 minutes of walking, and even at a higher incline and also at a higher pace. And again, it's all about incorporating habits in the choices that we make.
So what can we do for our physical health and exercise? We can do something that we like, right? Chances are if you do an activity or engage in activity that you enjoy, chances are you're going to be more apt to stick with that activity. And then it becomes habit forming when you do it over and over again, and you'll actually enjoy it rather than it being something that you grudgingly have to take care of. You're going to start out small, and we're going to work up to more time and progress to maybe increase the intensity level. And we're going to move safely. If you have any sort of pre-existing conditions or difficulty with any limitations or anything physically, you're going to want to definitely make sure that you do a plan that is safe for you, so you can exercise and still get some benefits without straining yourself. And also, we want to get your heart rate up so we get that blood pumping and oxygen going. And ask friends to join you. That way you're also getting in your socialization. And check with your doctor before you get started on any sort of physical health plan and exercise routine.
Some more things we can do. We can stop smoking, avoid excess alcohol, get an adequate amount of sleep, avoid head injuries, manage stress, treat depression, and visit your doctor regularly.
Hey, Jennifer, can I just ask you I'm going to start sharing your screen again. Can you please try to start sharing your screen again so it becomes the main image everyone can see?
Sure.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, so some more of what we can do. We can stop smoking. We can avoid excess alcohol. We can get adequate sleep. We can avoid any sort of head injury or impact to the head, manage stress, treat depression, and visit our doctor regularly.
So Mark, what we can do, we can monitor numbers and take action. Your blood sugar, blood pressure, weight, and cholesterol.
All right, next we're going to talk about another pillar, diet and nutrition.
So diet and nutrition, what we know, what's good for the heart may also be good for the brain. Nutritious food is fuel for the brain. Following some dietary guidelines can reduce your risk of heart disease, cancer, Parkinson's disease, and Alzheimer's disease, stroke, and diabetes.
So next we have Martha Claire Morris, who's a PsyD, is the director of the section of nutrition and epidemiology in the Department of Internal Medicine at Rush University.
Foods that have been shown to lead to healthy aging would be fruits and vegetables, and in particular green leafy vegetables and berries, as well as limited intake of high-fat food items that you get through high-fat dairy and cheese and red meats, and also healthy vegetable oils. So this would be olive oil would be a good example, have been shown to reduce your risk of heart disease as well as dementia.
So what we can do with our diet and nutrition, some foods we can eat are vegetables, fruits, nuts, beans, and whole grains, lean meats, fish and poultry, and vegetable oils. Some foods we want to avoid would be saturated or trans fats, processed foods, solid fat, sugar, salt, deep fried foods, and unhealthy fast foods.
So what we can do, we can consult reputable sources about any sort of dietary supplements and also vitamins. And we definitely want to always recommend at the Alzheimer's Association, you speak very closely with your doctor about any sort of supplements you're taking, any sort of medications or vitamins that you're ingesting.
Our next pillar, cognitive activity.
All right, so what do we know about cognitive activity? Well, keeping your mind active forms new connections among brain cells. Cognitive activity encourages blood flow to the brain, and mentally stimulating activities may possibly maintain or even improve your cognition. And engaging in formal education and also any form of education or classes that you enjoy will keep your brain healthy and can provide protection against developing dementia.
So next, we're going to hear from David Bennett. The MD is the director of the Rush Alzheimer's Disease Center in Chicago.
One of the most interesting factors is cognitive stimulating activities, which basically for us just means mental processing of information. It can be from a book, it can be from the radio, it can be a magazine, it can be from a lecture, it can actually be from watching TV. All of these things require processing information. And the old adage of, use it or lose it is actually something that turns out, at least from the observational data, to look like it's true. So numerous studies now have shown that being more engaged in cognitively stimulating activities is actually good for maintaining cognition. And it's true in late life, and it's true in early life. And so what we recommend is that you start early, and if you're already late, start now.
So what we can do, we can read books, we can read articles that challenge and inspire us. We can complete puzzles and play games that are challenging for us. We can learn new skills or hobbies, and we can engage in ongoing learning.
So our next pillar, social engagement.
So what do we know about social engagement? Social engagement is associated with living longer with fewer disabilities. Staying engaged in the community offers you an opportunity to maintain your skills, and remaining both socially and mentally active may support brain health and possibly delay the onset of dementia.
So what we can do, we can visit our friends and family, engage with others, stay involved in the community, volunteer outside of the home, and join a group or club.
So putting all four of these pieces together for our pillars, we're going to take care of our health, we're going to get moving, we're going to eat right, we're going to keep our mind active, and we're going to stay connected with others. And then we're going to combine all four to achieve maximum benefits.
So next we're going to hear from William Thies. He's the Senior Scientist in Residence in the Medical and Scientific Relations Department in the National Alzheimer's Association's office.
Recently, at the Alzheimer's Association International Conference, there was a study reported of the results of a large clinical trial that was done in the Scandinavian countries. And in this trial, they took half the people in the trial and they adjusted their exercise level, their diet, their social engagement, and their mental stimulation. They developed programs for each one of those variables, changed all of those for the people that were in the test group, and the control group just lived as they had been. There is a tremendous benefit to doing studies where we make changes and observe after the fact. That's a much stronger study than just observing people and trying to make judgments after life has changed for them. To my mind, one of the things that this has done is that it's changed the force of recommendation that we might make around the benefit of these interventions for prevention of Alzheimer's disease or for brain health. And the fact is that I think it's moved it from possibly exercise, diet adjustments, social engagement, mental stimulation are useful to probably. And that's a big change and makes it easier for people to make those kinds of adjustments for the benefit of their future health.
So what can we work on now? Well, we can begin today. We can start small and build upon what we're doing and do what we enjoy and stick with it. Make it a habit and make healthy choices, make a plan, carry out the plan and get support from others and have fun while we're doing it. And try to incorporate as many of those pillars as mentioned in your week or day as possible.
You can be a savvy consumer. If it's too good to be true, it's probably not true. Be cautious when you hear huge promises or reports of miracle cures. Do thorough research. Consult trusted, reputable professionals, your doctor, your local pharmacist, and the Alzheimer's Association.
And last but not least, we have a lot of resources available to you. We have our alz.org, which is our website, where we have Alzheimer's Navigator. We have a community resource finder where you can find many different resources on in-home care and a variety of other things that you would like to connect with in the community. Alz Connected, Alzheimer's and Dementia Caregiver Center, and a safety center. We also have a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week helpline available all day, every day at 800-272-3900. And we have support groups, education programs, and more available in communities nationwide. We have a program called Caregiver Essentials, which is a 4-week series, and it goes over information on the journey as well as practical tips and tricks on how to navigate and make the caregiving journey smoother. And it also has a big caregiver self-care component. We also have free online education programs available on our website as well. So we hope you'll take advantage of these, and we are available to you. We have care consultations, which are one-on-one private planning sessions with you, and we go over resources and something specific to your particular situation. We also have information in the chat, and our local number is 760-996-0006.
So you can also get involved with our biggest fundraiser, A Walk to End Alzheimer's. You can volunteer with us. You can advocate, participate in our other fundraiser, The Longest Day, and also participate in Trial Match, where you are matched with a experimental trial.
And some additional resources we have up on the screen for you as well. Programs in your community, our local area agency on aging, local senior centers that have resources available to you. There's community park programs, local health clubs, your YMCAs and YWCAs. And then there's some national resources up on the screen as well. National Institutes of Health, an Institute on Aging. They have the What's Your Plate program and the Go for Life program. They also have an administration on community living, which has the Brain Health as You Age program. There's also the U.S. Department of Agriculture, which has a cooperative extension system. And then there's the Center for Disease Control and Prevention.
So if you have any questions at all, the Alzheimer's Association is here for you. We're here all day, every day, through our 24/7 helpline. And you can also reach us at alz.org. And again, that number is 1-800-272-3900.
Okay, so wrapped up with the formal presentation, Jennifer?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Nice, concise presentation today, which does give us some time for for questions that anyone might have. So I have a couple that I will read for you all to answer. And then if you have any, please go ahead and use the Q&A feature or chat feature to ask those questions. But to start with, someone was wondering if they can see this presentation or if they missed the beginning or would like to watch it again. Yes, it will be available up on YouTube. We'll have that up by the end of the day tomorrow. So just go to the Rancho Mirage Library and Observatory YouTube channel. First question I have, Susan E. is wondering, how do we schedule a one-on-one session for help with a family member?
You would actually reach out to our local office at the number in the chat. That's the 760-996-0006 number. That's our local office number, and we can schedule something for you.
Great. Another question we had from an attendee is they're wondering, when it comes to exercise, is it more beneficial to walk at a normal speed for 45 minutes or to do something more rigorous for 10 to 15 minutes?
You know, again, we always recommend that you consult with your doctor on your exercise plan because I'm not sure what you exactly mean by rigorous, and I'm just a little cautious on recommending the rigorous part. So I would probably say the other that's less rigorous and not strenuous, and that's more consistent, and that's more consistent throughout the week as well. So it's not necessarily doing it, let's say, one time a week for 45 minutes. What you want to do is do it at least 3 times a week is what they usually recommend, at least. And at least for 30 minutes to an hour long of exercise, getting that heart rate up.
Great. All right, one last call for any questions that people have on today's program. Can you give us a little bit of a preview for next week's program and what that is going to cover?
So next week we will be doing effective communications, and that's a really wonderful presentation. It goes over really the do's and don'ts of how to say what you're trying to say as a caregiver and communicate with your loved one who has a diagnosis. And we know that communication is very, very important, and it looks very different when you're a caregiver trying to communicate it to your loved one because they are not processing the same as they were before. And so we have to be very cautious of what we're verbally communicating to them, as well as what our nonverbals look like when we communicate to them. What is our tone of voice? And oftentimes when you're in that caregiving situation, you know, you're burnt out and you're stressed. And so the tone of your voice is very important to pay attention to. You want to try and remain as calm as possible, have you know, a nice positive voice when you're communicating with them as best you can. You're also going to want to be as clear and also ask them one thing to do at a time, not ask them, you know, 5 or 6 different things to do at a time. So we'll go over all of that with effective communications. It's a wonderful class. I urge you all to come to that.
Great. Looks like we do have another question from Mel, and I guess maybe you can answer this one anecdotally, but I believe he's asking in regards to the pandemic, has there been any evidence of negative results from this last year of reduced and restricted social interaction?
You know, I know that we've noticed ourselves that our folks, like, for example, that jump on our Zoom social engagement programs, for example, you know, we've noticed some decline with our folks, definitely. And this pandemic has not been too gentle on them. They definitely really are anxious to get back to the in-person. They've been pretty isolated, but we're very pleased that we've been able to offer them a lot of programs on Zoom, and that's been very important. And their caregivers really do factor that into their week and make sure that they jump on with their loved one. And that has helped tremendously. But yes, there has definitely been impact that we've seen to our folks.
Okay, so I don't see any more questions coming in for today. I'll leave the chat box up for a little while for anyone that needs to jot down that number for the local number looking for support. But thank you again so much to both Moray and to Jennifer. I really appreciate all this great information. Any last words you'd like to share with our audience today?
We just appreciate everyone coming today, and we hope to see you for effective communications on the 29th. And we also wanted to mention, I didn't get a chance to do last presentation, but there is also a great science app that you can download as well, and have that on your phone and be alerted to any sort of updates from the Alzheimer's Association science app there. And so we recommend that you download that as well, so you can also receive updates and information.
I think you cut out there a little bit at the end. Where can they find the app?
They can go to our website at alz.org, and they'll be able to get that app, the science app.
All right. Great. Well, thank you both again so much. Again, we will be posting this presentation on YouTube by the end of the day tomorrow. And please join us again next week for all of our great programming, but especially for our third and final program in this Alzheimer's education series on effective communication. Thanks, everyone. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you.